So hello friends, I am Neeraj Avinash and today I am going to share with you what VS Code extension I am using. So actually I work on a lot of technologies including Python, PHP, Golang, Node.js, React.js and React Native. So I use a lot of extension on my projects. So VS Code extensions definitely they make your life much easier, and it helps you it enhances the productivity and overall code quality and code performance. So I use lot of them. So let us try to see a few of them one by one. So first thing, I am using auto rename tag. So this is really helpful in while HTML coding, HTML development. So for example, say if you have HTML file, and it actually, if you for example say right now here we are having a h5 tag, and if we rename it any of the one like h1, so it automatically rename the closing pair, right? So and it also applies to like every paragraph p tag, I mean almost every HTML tags. Secondly, I am using code spell checker. So this actually helps us to improve our code quality. So if there is any typo in the, I will show you it, show that to you. So for example, say I made a typo, I declared a variable and I made a typo here, and you might see there is a small like warning scrutiny line here. So it is saying that unknown word. So definitely I can rename it with the name, and right now this is the correct this variable name is correct. So this is all this does. So it helps us to write a very neat and clean and good quality code, right? And second, and moving on, I use Docker a lot. So Docker already a series is going on. We are trying to understand Docker in much more detail. So I am using Docker extension, and Docker actually like right inside your VS Code. So using this extension, you can have a very much fair idea about whatever images and whatever container that is running, and you can control almost each and everything what you can do with the Docker desktop application. So but yes, Docker desktop is much more vast and much more extensive, but this extension makes your life much easier working with Docker. And next, I use Dracula theme, because I used to use a dark theme. So Dracula color combinations are really great, so I use them. Moving on, I use ES7. So this helps me to write very good code for my JavaScript application like Node.js, React and React Native, and it is already having a much more definitely very nice code snippets as well. For example, say if you need to start with a React.js functional component, so you can type in RFCE and hit enter, and it will definitely do many more things for you without writing much more things, right? So similarly, like if you are working on a React Native, so RNFS, type in and hit enter, and it will render a very handy code snippet for React Native application, including style sheets, right? So we will definitely see when we start on learning React Native. So we will go step by step, and we will see that, right? Next, I use Flick8, and that is a linting. I use Flick8 for my linting purpose for my Python applications. So I'll show that to you here. So for example, here I import a package, for example say import OS, and I press save as, Control S, save, and now you can see a small red warning, and it is saying when you hover on it, so it says OS imported but unused. So this is something you can say like unnecessary, we can eliminate importing unnecessary packages. So when you save it, so it will show you warnings, right? So GitLens I am using for my GitHub management, and cross check like whatever when I did, whatever the last change I made, and so on. Next I use Go. So Go helps me a lot for working with on my Golang projects. So there are lots of other things. Definitely we will, when we will start on the Golang series, so we will see that in much more detail. Next I use iSort. So this is actually help us a lot for imports of Python projects, import of Python in any Python project. For example, say if you're importing multiple things, so definitely it helps me a lot in sorting and eliminating and improving the code quality. Next, where I'm using Jupyter. So the Jupyter, when you use for Panda and NumPy, so definitely you will need Jupyter. So these are there are multiple Jupyter extensions so that are installed on my machine. So I use them as and when needed. Next, I also use PHP IntelliSense. So this is this is a linting support for PHP projects. So this one also I am using, and this is one of my favorite. I mean, not only for me, for many developers, they are the fan favorite among the developer community, Prettier. So this actually helps us to make our code much more cleaner and in a well formatted way. Right, and for example, say here in our app.js file, for example, say I am here, create a constant name equals name and CLG name. So right now you can see the code is totally unformatted, and the moment I press Ctrl S, so definitely you can see like my code is automatically formatted, and that is done by Prettier, using Prettier, right? So this is really beautiful thing. So and next I am using Python, obviously, for the Python language support. Next I am using Thunder Client. So Thunder Client, actually you might have seen or you might have experienced working on with Postman, so where you can check your API's development. So you can write within your VS Code, you can say like it's another Python, another Postman. So here you can without installing any third party any other Postman application, you can simulate that here. So for example, say https google.com and send. So you can just simulate your Postman experience right inside from inside the VS Code. So this will definitely help you a lot working on APIs. So I would suggest I would definitely suggest to go with it. So these are the extension which I am using, and definitely in coming days, so we will see when we will dive onto the specific technology, so we can discuss that specific thing in much more detail. So till then, take care and bye bye. Take care.